obviously we need some sleep. Um, why does the camera look that way? Ugh, bear with me, even though nobody's on, which is actually perfect because I didn't really wasn't expecting anybody on because of this time. Although I will say that half of the people who view my channel, typically I know that y'all are up, and maybe it's just because I'm bipolar and I know the bipolar like traits. But like y'all are up all hours of the night, and not that I should be or responding, but I see your comments. And most of them come in between the hours of like 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. Oh, nonetheless, okay. I'm going live because one, if I don't, I will never get this out and it just will never be said. Number two, I am terrible at editing, so like this is the only way I'm ever gonna actually be able to upload videos these days. And I am stalling, so I have a little list of things that I want to go through here, and I'm gonna do it really fast before people jump on because I think going live is super weird. Yeah, so whew, talking about mental illness, relapse, and comorbidities, comorbidity. The term that means that you have more than one mental illness, which most people, I'm not sure if that's actually true, if most people do. It's not uncommon, to say the least. I am living with bipolar disorder type 1, as well as developmental trauma, which is honestly, developmental trauma disorder, which is honestly like really the crux of everything I'm dealing with. ADHD, severe anxiety, anorexia, OCD tendencies, not exactly OCD itself. It's probably a product of anxiety. Long story short, I have a lot of things that are wrong with me. Um, so, how have I been is sort of what I wanted to start off with. And that's kind of a difficult question for me to ask. It's very strange. It seems like every single day. I hope that y'all can fucking hear me with these like AirPods on. I'm in my bathroom because I'm hiding from my dog because I don't want to wake him up. Because if I wake him up, he's a puppy. There's no going back to sleep. So this will be really freaking awkward if you can't hear me. Is there a way to like? Oh, wait, there's no way to check that. Let's just hope for the best. How have I been? So yes, difficult question to answer. Because right now I'm feeling kind of down. It's not like an episode or anything. Honestly, I think my mood is not really stable. Honestly, it's been on the low side. I can't answer that. I'm talking in circles. I can't answer that question because it's essentially like I'll go through the day and I'll feel fine, and then every now and then, like every five, it lasts like 5 to 10 minutes. Not every 5 to 10 minutes. That would be shitty. It lasts like 5 to 10 minutes, and I literally feel like my world is ending. I feel like I'm on the verge of a mental breakdown. I feel like I literally cannot go on. I feel like just I feel terrible. And that's why it's hard for me to answer that question. It's like, how do you say that you're good when you are good? Like, I am good 89% of the time. Other percentage of the time, I'm balled up in a corner on my floor thinking that, like, I can't do this. And I don't know how anyone living with mental illness can do this. And it sucks. Um, on a more serious note, I mean, none of my videos are, I try to keep them lighthearted, try to use humor to kind of break down the barriers and the walls. um, I feel, and I say this in the most serious way ever, I don't know why I'm smiling, probably because I'm uncomfortable. I felt up until the last few days, I felt as though my body was dying, and I felt as though I felt like as though I was dying essentially. And I've been feeling this way for quite some time, in the sense that I don't know what it feels like to die because you only die once, well, theoretically. But when something is wrong. I fully believe that, we should listen to our bodies. We know when something is not right. And something with me has not been right for the longest of times. And it's kind of all my fault in the sense that I've been living, we're lapsing on a year now, really, since I started my manic episode or started the first series, the first manic episode of being off of lithium medication. And since then, cycling through mania, cycling through bouts of, restrictive eating. And when I say bouts of restrictive eating, I guess I'm still very new to speaking on this and the terms, but being diagnosed with anorexia um, a few years ago, and then this year really struggling with it severely in the sense that I've never really gone more than a month or 2 months with restrictive eating. I'll go 2 months and then I'll go back to normal, and then maybe I'll experience it again in 2 more months. But this time it's been a year. So a year since being unstable with my mood, with bipolar disorder, a year since being unstable with restrictive eating. And by that I mean like restricting my eating. A year since running away from past traumas, from childhood trauma that was coming back up. I did a lot of exploring and soul searching around that. And then all of a sudden I hit a wall because I was like, oh shit, I'm uncovering stuff I do not want to uncover. Things I did not remember, memories that, aren't really associated with images. They're more so just feelings. I'll like just very, very intense feelings. And it's like, I remember this, but I don't remember this. I remember how I feel. I don't remember what was said. I don't remember visual things. Yeah, so really just it's a year, and I really did not want to come to a year. I wanted to be able to say a year later, I am perfectly healthy. I'm in recovery. I've gone this many days with feeling better, and I cannot say that. So, in a very roundabout way, that's how I'm doing. I have no idea how I'm doing. I recently got this tattoo on my arm. It's a semicolon, if you're familiar with the Semicolon Project. And it's to remind me that 5 years ago, last week, I attempted suicide. And it's weird for me to say that out loud because of the subject matter, but also because at the time, I think I was disassociating. I was not really fully aware of what was going on. I wasn't really fully aware of what I was doing. I just knew that it was like I was on autopilot. Um, but that's essentially what happened. And I'll spare you the details, slash not trying to trigger anybody on here. But I got this tattoo to remind me that 5 years ago I wanted nothing more but to live. While I did attempt, my life, it was out of desperation. I was afraid. I literally had no idea what to do next. I had no idea where to go next. It was the last resort, and I was in the worst amount of pain possible. Never want to go back there. Thank God I have not really experienced a depressive episode like that. Um, the tattoos remind me that all those years ago, I was fighting for life. I was fighting to live. I was fighting for happiness. And today, I am like, as in this year, as in right now, as in this very second, I'm not, I would never say that I'm not happy. I'm very happy. I'm happy with the life I've built. I'm happy with the life I'm building. I'm happy with the new people I've met. I'm happy with all of that. I'm the happiest I've been in a long time, the longest streak of happiness that I've had. The problem is that I'm engaging in behaviors where, you know, my life essentially is in the balance. And I don't mean to say that as like I'm going to go next week or the next week or whatever, but you never know, technically. And that's not funny. Um, but yeah, the way I've been living now is not sustainable and is catching up with me. And I can feel it in my body, and I can feel my body being like, we can't, this another year of what I've been doing is not, I'm not gonna last. Um, but don't fret. Obviously, I'm changing things. The problem is that, the rate at which I'm changing, the speed at which I'm changing, am I doing enough? All of these questions. But I got this tattoo to sort of remind me that, we want life. I might not want to change any of the behaviors I'm doing, but I have to because, we haven't, what's that quote that I really, really love? You didn't come this far just to come this far. So I'll be damned if I'm the reason that, like, if I am the reason, if I'm the person that's standing in my way from a happy life, a life in general, any life, um, when 5 years ago, that's all we wanted. And now we're just kind of throwing it away. That's what it feels like. I have a list of things I want to go through because we're already 10 minutes in, and I have a habit of just talking in circles. So, first things first, or second things first, medicine. So yeah, those of you who've been following me for a while, you know that I've restarted my medication for bipolar disorder. That was Depakote. What you don't know is that I've been off of Depakote basically since I've started it. That's not funny either. I don't really know. There's no side effects with it. It's 10 times better than lithium. I felt it working, and I think maybe that's what scared me. Just that change in life, um, like the clarity that comes with it, and realizing like, oh shit, my life is not it right now, and you need to get it together. Whatever the reason is that I stopped taking it, but I promised a friend, and I know I should be promising myself because it's something that I should find the will to do myself. Because if no one wants it, then it's not going to be sustainable. But for right now, I promised a friend that I would be taking my medication, and so I'm gonna just take it right now, um, starting all over again. So I've been off of it. Really, I did the first month, and then I stopped, not intentionally, but I stopped. And then with Depakote, you need to build up in your system and all of that, and you need to go up on the dosage. And we're taking it. Yay! I guess. I need to finish this water, but I'm gonna wait after the video because that was not enough water. Okay, so bipolar relapse. That's what happened there. And since being off of Depakote, I have not had like any crazy mood changes, thank God. I have experienced some, I say it's hypomania, but last time I said that, I did some self reflection and I realized it was just full on mania. I'm with looking at my actions, I'm pretty sure this was just hypomania and that's all I've experienced. But yeah, moving on. So that was the bipolar relapse and the eating disorder relapse, which I'm still very new at talking about again. But restrictive eating, I was diagnosed with anorexia a long time ago, was not really fully aware I was diagnosed or didn't really know what it meant. I still don't know what it meant. But that is like the biggest problem right now. I realize that it's a lot bigger. It's a much bigger problem than I originally realized in the sense that I've gone 5 days now, I think, without restrictive eating, and it's turned into binging. And I didn't even, it's weird because after researching about binging and identifying myself as not having that or not engaging in those habits, today I was like, wow, this is definitely binging. And I don't know why I'm doing that, but food makes me feel super comforted. Like I'm comforted by food, and that's all I want to do is sleep and eat food, and that's all I've been doing is sleeping and eating food. Which is nothing wrong with that abstractly, but it's a weird cycle. I will eat way more than necessary, and then essentially I'll feel great, and then I'll feel bad about myself, and I feel just terrible and gross and all of those adjectives. Even right now, looking at myself in the camera, I'm just like, I feel like I look a lot larger than I do, or I imagine that I do. Probably look no different to y'all. But at the same time, this is also how I always look to myself. But because I feel full, it's that much worse. Um, yeah. So I'm taking some more time off of work, unfortunately, because as you probably know from like the basic second grade knowledge of biology, you need food to function. And because I have not been, I mean, the last few days I have, but I have not really been keeping up with the treatment or the recovery for eating my eating disorder. Not really been doing that at all, mostly because every single time I attempt to do it or I attempt to get better, I feel just like terrible. I feel like it's this crazy feeling of I just don't feel valuable. I feel like I don't want to go outside. It's a thousand different feelings, and none of them are great. And it's honestly the next worst thing next is the worst. It's the worst thing I've ever experienced next to feeling depressed, which I haven't felt in a very long time. But so that's like, I guess, honestly, the biggest things I've been dealing with. And like, I guess I could have said that in a much easier way, and it shouldn't have taken me 15 minutes to say that. But I'm kind of just lucid thinking right now. I'd say on the positive side of things, I've moved past some of my trauma, and I think that's the freaking first step. Feeling a lot of anger towards people in my childhood, and when people, I mean like my family, my mother, and then realizing that I have a lot of anger towards myself. Um, I think that I'm quite angry with the younger version of me for not, abstractly, I know this is wrong and I know I shouldn't beat myself up about it, but this is how I feel. So I feel like I was not strong enough as a kid. I feel like um, I was just not strong enough. I feel like I was weak, and that if I had been strong enough, maybe these things wouldn't bother me as much. Maybe I wouldn't have been hurt as much. Maybe there's like a lot of what ifs, and I'm mad at myself for just being a kid, which is stupid. But yeah, that's how I feel. I've come to realize that, and I've come to realize a lot of my anger towards my mom is still there. And I'm now finally, after a year, moving past that anger. I think I've gotten to the mindset that while deep down inside subconsciously, I really want somebody to come in and swoop up and solve all my problems for me, mostly like a mother, like my mom. That's what I really want, because that's what moms do when you're literally panicking or when you're in trouble. They come and help. But it's not that I just, it's not that I don't have them. Well, I don't have a mom. She passed away. I have a mother. I have mother figures in my life. I have lots of them actually, but I'm an adult, and a lot of the issues that I'm dealing with are internal, and there's no one coming to save me. And if I continue down this route, I am going to kill myself. And I don't mean like I'm going to actually do it. I'm going to mean that my practices and my life choices and all of that are breaking down my body. And this is how people with these disorders end up becoming physically messed up, or their health physically declines because I'm not taking care of my body. And this is to remind me to do that, because we do want to live. And younger me had a lot of aspirations in life, a lot of goals, and he'll be damned if I'm fucking that up. So that, and there's people who have passed away in my life: my mother, my grandmother, my best friend Sarah. These people, mostly my best friend Sarah. I can't imagine whatever the afterlife is like, if there is one. They would be pissed. They're already pissed right now. I can feel it. It's a strange feeling, but yeah, Sarah. I don't want to face that, on a more lighthearted note. So I am. What was I talking about? God damn it! This is why I don't go live. I taking a break from work because I literally cannot think or focus, or my memory is shot. All of it's just, I'm much more prepared for it than I was 2 months ago when I had my first leave. But I'm still not at optimal levels in terms of my performance. And rather than everyone think at work that I'm slacking, or that I'm insane, or that I'm just not equipped to do the job, I felt as though a leave was needed. And I'm looking into day programs, partial hospitalization programs, which is interesting because I've already been in one for different reasons, but this one would be focused on my eating disorder and my trauma, and just really tackling that, because I know I need to, but I need more structure around it, and I need someone to help hold me accountable. Um, and I think that's what honestly, this past week has been: holding myself accountable, like me as a human, like holding myself, literally me. Um, I think that makes sense. And then also just being honest, or trying to be honest with my friends and family about what's going on. So I told my father everything, and I haven't told many people everything. Um, and that helped a lot. It didn't go as planned, or actually, it went exactly as planned. It didn't go as how I would have liked it to go, but I knew it was going to happen. But regardless, it still helped. So I think, you know, that's the advice I can kind of give is that I am struggling a lot with, recovery and how recovery should look and the pace of recovery and, am I recovering fast enough? Because honestly, leave from work, they're not going to just let me go forever. Um, and I really don't want my life to change right now. And I think that's compromising my health in the sense that your health comes before everything. If I have to quit this job, if I have to move from where I am, if I have to do whatever I have to do, if it's for my health, then it's worth it. And I'm not quite there slash willing to accept it. I'm not sure if that's necessary, but I'm not there to I'm not quite there fully ready to give in to 100% recovery or 100% recovery path. We're close because honestly, like, I'm almost at my breaking point. But yes, day hospitals, again. But that first one, I was there for actually right around this time because this is right around when excuse me, this is right around the time, as I said, I made my attempt. And so I was actually in the day hospital 5 years ago, right around this time, up until August, and it helped significantly. So I found one here in Georgia that I'm looking at for eating disorders, and I think that's the best route. I think that's the first step. And worrying about everything else comes second. Um, but it's still nerve wracking to me in that, like, I don't want to have to be defined by mental illness. I don't want this to take a hold of my life. It's a big worry and thing that I had ruminations over in the first aid program, in the sense that people there, not that there's anything wrong with this. I know there's nothing wrong with this in the abstract, in the logical sense, but it's like people there had been there for years, or they had been coming back for years, or it wasn't their first time, and it just really put me in this space that I was just like, okay, so I'm working on these things early, but you saying that you've been here for years, or you're saying that you've been here like 3 or 4 times, like, what's the point if I'm just gonna have to come back here? And look at us now, we're looking at day programs again to come back here. And while that sucks, I'm telling myself that that's a good thing in the sense that I'm well equipped enough to know that before I hit crisis level, before I'm in the hospital or before I'm hospitalized, before anything becomes like 911 crisis level, I am trying to solve it. And I think that's the big thing. Um, just taking one step, like one day at a time, step by step, and really just focusing on the present and what I can control now. So, right this second, I can control taking my medication. I can control finishing my laundry that I'm doing. I can control processing however I'm feeling, because today was honestly weird and I have a lot of weird emotions, and none of them are intense emotions, but I have feelings I need to get through. And some of those feelings are real, some of those feelings are, dredged up, or thoughts from childhood that are just repressed and I've attached to other things. I have my normal life, being 24 years old, my normal life troubles, love and friends and like social crap that I have to deal with. But yeah, um, it's all going to be okay because it has to be okay, which is what I've been telling myself. Because if it's not okay, then duh. So that's all I wanted to really say with y'all, is that being honest with myself, being honest with people in my life, because if I'm not honest with anybody, no one knows what the fuck's going on with me. And if I'm not honest with myself, then I end up in this place right here. A year has gone by where I've just been kind of lying to myself, and that does nobody any good. And like I said, younger me would be damned if I fuck this all up for us. All right, I'm so happy I got that out, and I'm even happier that like I did this. It's like in the middle of the night. So while half of y'all are typically on at this time, nobody joined, which is perfect. Because like honestly, I feel like I would have changed the content if I had seen the little thing did flicker a little bit up there, but honestly, I would have changed how I was talking, I think, because it doesn't matter. But I didn't. All right, y'all. Let's see if this even goes up. I have to actually put it up now. I'll hit y'all back later, hopefully later this week, with actual new structured video that's not just me rambling about how I'm borderline going insane slash borderline fine slash I don't really know how I'm feeling, but I will let y'all know. Now, how the hell do I end this thing?